Please welcome to the stage EXP International's VP of Marketing, Sarah Hutchinson, and EXP South Africa agents, Keegen Bain, Prince Ncuthe, Neil Robinson, and Madeleine Besundehut.
So this is the cool kids panel, the marketers. These amazing people represent the best of the best in South African real estate marketing. I actually called up Andrew and said who are like the coolest people on social media in South Africa, and this is them. So each one of them has a very different way of showing up as well. We've got luxury, community, social, and real life. So let's get into it. Neil, I'm going to start with you. You told a story actually, where you were at a point where you almost quit real estate. You moved cities, you didn't have a network, deals fell through, things got really hard. I think a lot of people are experiencing this right now with the economy. What was the moment when you realized your mindset had to change before your business could?
Great, thanks, Sarah. So I'll give you a bit of context into my story. I come from a pro cycling background. I did cycling as a profession. I got severely concussed 3 times in a row, had to learn how to walk properly again. And then I was like, okay, what now? All I know is how to ride a bike fast. I tried a couple of different things that didn't work out. And through that process, I found a few mentors and got involved with property. And I think the bug bit with property. And then I was like, okay, well, I'm in Joburg. I want to be in Cape Town and I want to be selling the best properties.
Okay.
So I moved in about 2.5 weeks and I went gung-ho. I was laser focused. I think I listed 600 million in the first 10 months. I had over 250 million rands worth of deals fall through.
Uh-oh.
Some of those were probably my own lack of skill and just delusion.
I think, yes, 100%.
And part of that was genuine circumstances that were just not fun at all.
Okay.
And I reached a place where I was just, I was depressed. I was just in the doldrums and I was like, what is wrong with me? Why am I doing this? So I really hit a complete low and I was confronted with like either I can change my attitude here or give up on real estate completely. So there's a thing in World War called the death zone. When you've got an army of 1,000 people, 300 people, the guys with the army of 300 are in the death zone with their backs against the wall. They generally fight 3 times harder because they've got nothing to lose but death. So I wasn't going to die, but I literally had my back against the wall and I was like, this is rock bottom. The only way is up.
Right.
And I was like, okay, let's give this a shot. I started sharpening my skills and then I really started experiencing breakthroughs. And I think the big shift for me was a quote. There's a very well used quote in psychology. It's called the Serenity Prayer. It's based off of a prayer. And it goes like, it says, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And that for me really put it in a nutshell. There were so many things outside of my control that I could have taken personally. But there were a lot of things that I could change. And one of the biggest things in all of our control is our attitude and our mindset.
I love that.
And I think since then, things have had a better trajectory. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. Keegen, I'll go over to you now. You came from a very structured, very well-known brand that we will not mention. But you felt trapped there. What did it feel like when you realized you couldn't really market yourself there? And then what changed for you when you joined EXP and became your own brand?
Thank you, Sarah. I think fundamentally it's based on the fact of feeling trapped in a space where you've operated for a very long time. I've been in the industry for over a decade. So I've been in real estate a long time. And after so many years of trying to come up with really nice marketing ideas, implementing cool, fun things to do with the team, trying to push the narrative that, we are each our brand, there was a lot of suppression there. So suppression always comes to mind for me. And I came across the incredible EXP model, and there was a space for me to push the idea that I am my own brand.
Right.
And that has always been my slogan and my motto is that you are your brand. And I try and encourage my team underneath me that they are each also their own brands. And how that plays into the hand is that fundamentally you building a movement, a momentum around you in your environment where you're marketing and branding yourself. And I think that's very important for agents to understand and know.
And is that one of the reasons why you came to EXP?
That is the biggest reason I came to EXP, definitely. I've always been an entrepreneur, sort of had an entrepreneurial spirit. And I knew that I was never going to be an agent for the rest of my life. It was something that I knew at quite a young age. And I think EXP gives you that exposure for you to run your own business, build your own team, and have no limitations within the marketing space of trying to sell property. The other suppression spaces were where you can sell and where you can't sell. I think that was a very big factor for me. I always wanted to work in the luxury sector. And as soon as EXP came around, it was the first thing that I delved into. And within the first 6 months, because I never had a restraint of trade there, we listed over, I think it was 150 million rands worth of properties in our area. So, it gave me that exposure to be able to market myself in different spaces, sell myself to my audience, and fundamentally generate more leads. I think that's the industry we're in. We're in an industry where we build relationships that eventually leads to sales.
And that's what EXP is all about.
Most definite.
Madeline, I know I'm butchering your name. I'm sorry. You say it so cool. I do not. But you built your business by showing up consistently and focusing on community. For agents who think my town is too small or nobody wants to hear from me, what would you tell them?
Yeah, I arrived in a new province and a new town, Blouberg, 4 years ago, and started a brand new career in real estate. So I had no databases. I had no network. I didn't know a single street name. And nobody knew who I was. Who the heck is Madeline? So I started where I could. I'll start walking the streets. I put those flyers into those post boxes and I did the birthday wishes and also advertised in a little local magazine that was distributed in my area. But I just hoped for the best. But when I realized that my social media is actually the bridge to a larger community, that made the world of a difference to me. And I want to encourage you to show up in your communities, to be consistent, to be visible. And it pays off.
How did you use social media in your community?
In my community, I'm very involved at, especially at my retirement villages. And everywhere I come, I create content about the events they are busy with. I help them with their events. And I just post it consistently.
Consistency.
Consistency.
Thank you. Princess, I stalk you on social media. You're hilarious. You are brand new. You didn't come in with a big CV. You leaned straight into just being real. Why did you decide to show the struggle instead of the highlight reel?
Ooh-wee. Story time. So when I started off in the industry, it was nothing but a struggle. I don't know. When I looked on social media, though, I had the concept of, oh, it's selling sunset. I'm going to walk into these houses, these luxury listings. I've got James Bond here walking into a listing. And then you've got literally listing Cape Town, or like he gives selling sunset vibes as well with the mansions he walks in. And I'm like, oh, I can do that. Like, that looks so much fun. And then you get her posting like a full sold post like every week. I'm like, this looks like fun. Like, I feel like I can do this. You get into an office. Story time about that is that every agency rejected me because I started real estate when I was 18 years old, straight out of high school. And, you go there and you do the job interviews. It's like, oh, any sales experience? I'm like, no. I thought, like, you didn't need anything to get into the industry. Like, I could just come. And they're like, no, you guys have, like, something. Like, what do you have? I'm like, I have communication skills. I just, you think of these things. I know, like, posting TikToks. I can take a cute reel. Like, I don't know. I feel like I watched enough reality TV shows to know my way around the house. I felt it can't be that difficult, you know what I mean? They all didn't buy it and they didn't give me the job. So I tried again, but this time I may have put a little bit of couple lies in the CV. Doesn't matter. I got the job. It was a different agency. Not gonna say anything.
Do your thing.
I get in the office. I'm like, okay, guys, this is my big break. I'm in here. They're gonna give me the nice listings. I was like, so where's the Camps Bay houses? I can go there. I've got my makeup done. I've got my phone and my gimbal. Like, I can do the content. They go, what do you mean? I was like, where's the house to sell? They're like, here's the list of leads. Call them and go get the listing. I said, do what now? I need to call who? The homeowner's like, I need to call a stranger. And then they're like, yeah, that's how you get the houses. I was like, no, this wasn't in this Selling Sunset. They didn't show me this part. I answer the phone and I get rejected and like someone screams at me. So I was like, oh, this is not a bad, this is not a yoba. And then I asked for like, where's my for sale board? It doesn't have my face on it. What's going on? Like, usually you put your face on the board at the old company. Like, no, you don't need that. Just the company's name and your number. So that's useless because how am I supposed to take a cute selfie with it? Anyways.
But
So I got in there and I started realizing, okay, so I don't have listings to show. I don't have 10 years of experience. I don't wear like the suits and everything. I'm like really young and I just know the TikTok. So what's going to happen? So I said, why don't I just document the struggle? People need to start seeing what's going on. Because it's not as easy as walking into these luxury listings like they just give it to you. Give them some credit, like how they got all those leads and getting in. Even Madeleine, that's sold. You saw the last part. You didn't see the beginning part of her getting the leads with no database. You didn't see that. You didn't see her cold calling. You didn't see them having to do all those valuations. Goodness me, those things. You didn't see them price counseling and the owner asking for ridiculous prices. What actually you do, you open the phone, you get a lead, and there's probably like no offense, but the ugliest apartment you've ever seen. And then they expect you to sell it. And it doesn't even look cute to like real and have these cool videos they have. So it's like, now what must I do? So yeah, I started documenting the struggle.
love it.
Showing me off.
My next question is what do new agents actually need to hear that they're not hearing online? They need to hear about the struggle.
Yeah, they need to hear about the struggle. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not. Yes. No, it's not.
Is there a light at the end of the tunnel?
Sorry?
Light at the end of the tunnel.
Oh, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. You know, once I spent my first year in real estate really getting established because I couldn't get the listings, I kind of did what Neil did. No, I took that from him. You can ask other agents to do some content for their house, at least to, be associated in that space when you have absolutely nothing to your name.
Okay.
I collab with other agents, do a lot of trainings, involve myself with the agents in my team because I'm surrounded by an amazing team of people. So kind of applause. So it's good that this team's very collaborative and very open to helping one another with trainings and just finding your way around real estate. And there is a light at the end of the tunnel, guys. You can do Selling Sunsets eventually, just not in the beginning.
Not at first. Love it. All right, Neil, you are very high end now. But you didn't start out that way, just like Princess. How did social media help you find your voice and confidence on camera? And was it awkward at first?
Yeah, so I think starting up to getting into the high-end space, it's safe to say I was very delusional. But I think it's actually healthy to have a good amount of delusion, because if you're delusional for long enough, you'll actually not be delusional anymore. If you're willing to make yourself look like a failure for long enough, eventually you won't be the failure.
Fake it till you make it.
And I did that, and it took a lot longer than I expected, but then the breakthrough started coming. But I got a lot of experience. I got my head kicked in, and I was very wet behind the ears. I'm still a rookie. But I think that was one of the biggest things, to be willing to look like a failure or a fool in front of very wealthy, high-end sellers. Eventually got me to a point where I could start landing those mandates.
I feel like I could do that.
And I think from a story from Clifton, I walked into, I think it was a door knock. I knocked on the door of an 80 million rand house, so that's about $5 million. And I convinced her to give me a mandate. And she had a couple of questions that I wasn't expecting, like, how old are you? And how long have you been doing this? And
Just
how
knocking
many,
on the door.
and how many houses have you sold in the area? And I was like, look, I'm going to be honest here. I haven't sold any houses in this area. I've been in the industry for 6 months, but I'm probably harder working than all the other agents. And they all started somewhere. Somebody had to give them a shot. So if you don't want to use me, that's fine. There's no hard feelings. But if you do, give me a shot. And she gave me the mandate. And that, I think, is just the power of having a bit of delusion, because sometimes it works.
You hear that? Be delusional. Love that advice. Thank you.
But back to social media, I think, being willing to look awkward on camera until you get a bit better. I'm always practicing speaking on camera. There's usually a lot of bloopers still today. Some days are easier than others. Other days it takes like 20 takes. So, yeah.
So you think it's better to just post content rather than make it perfect? Just get it out.
Yeah, like we were talking yesterday, done is better than perfect. Yeah.
Done is better than perfect. Glenn Sanford actually says that all the time. All right. Well, thank you, Neil. Keegan, you invest heavily in content. Speaking of content, I think your social media guy is up here. Hey. So for agents watching this thinking, I don't have that budget to have him here, what matters most when it comes to building a personal brand?
I think a personal brand for me is bridging the gap between your image and your personality to your audience. Now, your audience might be a developer, it might be a buyer, a seller, it might be another agent, it might be your team. And I think social media can easily sort of, half push you through the door, because there's millions of people on social media daily that scroll. And I think that you start becoming very well known in those spaces. So in the beginning, when I didn't have a lot of money to have the scalable option, I think going back to Princess's topic is actually just recording yourself in these spaces and giving your personality and your authenticity to your sellers and your buyers, because they are following you. I can guarantee you they are following you. And then I think there are many other ways of marketing and branding yourself and creating a personal brand besides social media. And I think that can talk quite nicely to the audience. Is we have WhatsApp Business, we have LinkedIn, we have obviously Canva Pro that's got the AI linked to it. So you got pamphlets that can be created, reels that can get created. The importance behind creating all this content, not necessarily speaking into a camera, is ensuring that your brand, which is you, your face, what you represent, how you present yourself, is all on these documents. When you're sharing WhatsApp messages, generally there's always a photo of myself on it. So the person knows what they're reading is there's a relationship between that person, and 9 times out of 10, or hopefully, they're like, oh, I've seen him on, this group or that group. So that's the idea, is creating a personal brand around you at a very cost-effective rate. And I always like to refer to my mom, which has been in the industry for over 13 years. She's never done social media a day in her life, but yet has done over R1 billion worth of sales in her career. So that's a good example of how there is personality there. There's a lot of personality, whether it's building relationships on the street, like Madeleine mentioned, walking the streets, creating pamphlet drops. We're also very involved in the community space, which doesn't cost you a lot of money.
Right.
Being part of charity events, we really like being involved in those spaces, because firstly, you can build meaningful relationships with, again, your buyers and your sellers, and it creates a presence of social media to physical in person.
Thank you. Madeline, back to you. You talk a lot about consistency. You post all the time. You're very consistent with it. What does that look like when life is really busy and you have a lot of stuff going on and English is not your first language?
So every time I visit a property, it's not just a listing for me. It's a story. It's the opportunity for you to tell a story about the lifestyle there, the community, the neighborhood, and who we are as agents. And storytelling is about creating that feeling and helping people envisioning living in there. So social media for me became like a bridge to be more consistent in my community. Not only the property that I was visiting. So I'm going to encourage you. I think I lost my words here and there now. What I wanted to say is, but I want to tell you that it's not hard to be part of a community. Just show up. Help them in the events. Create content of the events and just share that consistently. And when you start doing that, the community starts feeling you and seeing you on social media. And that is where it's important. And that is where trust is being built naturally. So I want to encourage you to get in front of that camera and just start getting your stories out there. And surely it creates trust that you in no other way can create. It just gives, social media just gives trust a place to live and grow.
I love that. Thank you. Neil. Yeah. Neil, you are obsessed with Canva, and you built a team around you. If an agent is overwhelmed by AI, I see Seth sitting there. If people are overwhelmed by AI, tools, Canva even, all the stuff that's changing so fast, what's one simple thing that they can do this week to make their business better?
I had a great chat with Seth last night. He's like the king of AI in this room here. And one of the points that he made is that using AI as a tool is possible for everyone. I think sometimes we think of AI and we think of coding and all of these crazy IT terms, but it's actually very possible for any of us. Even if you're not an IT boffin, just use it, give it the right instructions. And the thing I love about EXP and Canva Pro is that you can put together quick social media content, overlay text, sold posts, for sale posts. So it's really all at your fingertips. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. Princess, I'm gonna head back to you. And I'm really excited to talk to you. You're young and hip and cool. What do older agents need to know about social media and posting and sharing their life online? I think for some people, maybe it's a little scary to share, that much with an unknown audience about your personal life. What advice do you have there?
I'm gonna get back to what Madeleine said about how it allows you to reach so many people and also connect with so many people that you wouldn't even fathom. A lot of the older generation think they'll just post it and it's going like nowhere. And it's not gonna really do anything for them. It's not gonna benefit them. It's like an extra task. Like, I have to post something. But I use social media and it has absolutely changed my life. It's made my career. If I didn't have social media, I genuinely don't think I'd be here today. Because how would I been able to even reach people that I would have never been in my sphere? Because she had door knocks, but how many houses can you possibly door knock to be able to reach people even in different provinces, countries? It's an opportunity. Like one post, I think of it as, imagine every time you post it, someone gave you a lottery ticket. So you don't know when the next post it'll be that you absolutely blow up, and it will really just help you build a brand that overall, like your face is your brand, like Keegen always says, you are your brand. And the only way really to spread a brand, we used to do adverts back in the days, but like now you don't have to pay for an ad because you can just post something and it will absolutely go viral for free. So it's really, the older generation just needs to understand that this is a way for you to market yourself. It's a way to put yourself out there, to be seen, to be heard. Because at the end of the day, you don't really have a business if no one knows you, especially in real estate. So, yeah.
Thank you. All right, we are getting kicked off stage because we've gone over time. I'm sorry. Thank you to our amazing panelists for the honesty, insight, and real world perspective. You guys are all awesome. I also wanted to just shout out a quick one to celebrate our international Instagram at EXP. It actually hit, I was going to say it hit 10,000, but we just hit 11,000 followers and it's only a year old. So yay! Shout out to our marketing team. Yay. So if you're not following us yet, please join our journey on our international channels. Thank you all for being here. We are so excited to be in South Africa and enjoy the rest of eXpcon Cape Town. Thanks, everybody.